we've got our serpentine belt replaced, our air filter replaced, put the ball joint on the car, just finished up draining all the oil. We haven't put the oil back in, but we're gonna leave it jacked up and do the spark plugs while we're at it. If you don't have one of these funnels, this thing is awesome for changing the oil in your Subaru. It's made by AST. It is an OFSU 1042. I'll put a link in the description of this video for Amazon link where you can buy this funnel. But all you do is unscrew your oil fill cap, and this funnel screws right in place of it. No mess, no fuss, no worry about it falling over anything else. Great thing to have when doing your oil change. So what we're gonna do now is a spark plug replacement, and we're gonna try to do this as a real-time, no cuts. Everyone likes to complain that Subaru spark plugs are the hardest thing in the world to change. I beg to differ. They're plenty harder. So we're going to try to change this out real quick with no cuts, full length video. So go ahead and get set up and get rolling. You doing it or I'm doing it? I wasn't being smart, I was just asking. Alright, get that off. Take my tools away, man. That's all dirty. I didn't clean it last time I used it. What's wrong with me? My tools are gross. Oh, dang it. You get a little push pin tool, or maybe I won't need it. No, I don't need it.
Slave cylinder.
Slave cylinder's leaking? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
There, pull the... You got the PCV line loose over there?
Mm-hmm.
Get that out of the way.
Looks like there's a little bit of oil in it.
Yeah, there usually is from the PCV system. I'm doing everything we did a minute ago with the air filter replacement. But, oh well.
Doesn't that look like it's a little leak right there?
Hmm?
It might have been when they bled it.
No, if you have a leaking slave cylinder, what you do is you pull the boot back, and if it's wet inside, under the boot. If there's something on top, then that's something. Well, your snorkel is separated. We're going to have to glue that back together.
There's no oil in there.
Can you grab me a 10mm wrench? Second drawer over towards the door. I'm hoping when I pull these coils out that they're not full of oil, but the mileage on this car, most likely the oil well seals are going to be leaked and we'll have oil on the spark plugs, but hopefully not. You got ants in your car. Mm-hmm. There's like 3 or 4 of them just walked by.
I farted on the ant bed.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it. Oh, I don't need the wrench. Forgot there's a tin nut on this side too. See, spark plugs ain't hard. Once you get the air box out over here, it's just right there. And then on that side, we gotta take the battery out on the driver's side. On the old ones, you had to take out the battery and the washer jug, but they relocated the washer jug and the bumper on these.
I don't even think you gotta take the battery out on this side. It's a box that goes at the bottom.
Yeah, it's supposed to separate. Can't remember if you gotta turn it or...
Cold air.
It's actually just a silencer. It pulls the air from the snorkel.
Good, leave it off.
Yeah, we don't need to take it off. We can just put it right there. Tuck this power steering line up and out of the way. Get to first coil, unplug, 10mm coil out. Look at there, already the first spark plug. Didn't take us 5 minutes to even get that far. Act like it's like getting beaten with a stick to replace these spark plugs. Hey, that one's dry, no oil. You lucked up on that one. Yeah, don't say it too loud. We still got 3 more to go. Yeah, I know what you're saying. All typing furiously in the comments. Well, that's not a turbo car. That's not an 8.6. They're way harder. Not necessarily. Well, at least in my opinion, they're no harder. But I also have a lot more experience replacing them than the average Joe that replaces them once or twice on their first Subaru or what have you. Hey, so you could grab me a 6-inch extension out of my extension drawer. It's the last skinny drawer in the middle. I forget the single overhead cam spark plugs are deeper. On the 8.6 and the turbos, we use a little 3-inch extension since you're just going straight on top of the head, but since he's coming at an angle, a little deeper in there. No, I'd rather have a straight one. An 8-inch will work too. Just grab it out of the tray. Get the long one out of the tray. Or just bring the tray that's missing some.
Yeah, this is 8.
I don't think they actually have a 6.
Yeah, I'm about to say this. That one was missing.
That's fine, just set it there. I'll grab it in a minute. Alright, first plug is out, and it is not terrible looking. It does got a little bit of crusty buildup on it. The electrode looks alright in it. It's not terribly burnt up. Ugh. Crusty old dielectric grease on top of it. But might as well go ahead and replace them. Can't remember what the torque spec is on these spark plugs.
Hold on.
I think it's 19 Newton meters.
What does that one say?
This one is an SIFR 6A11.
6A11.
6A11, yeah, that's the right plug.
Just
Yep.
making sure.
We are using OE Subaru plugs, which they are NGKs, but just in a Subaru box. So NGKR, SIF, R6A11.
Fuji. Fuji.
Yeah, Fuji Heavy Industry,
Fuji.
which no longer is actually, I think it was 2 years ago that Fuji changed their name. Now they're the Subaru Corporation, which Fuji Heavy Industry is Subaru's parent company. But if I recall correctly, they changed the name. Alright. I think it's 19 Newton meters, but I'm going to check just to make sure you don't over torque your spark plugs. Engine, ignition, spark plug. It is 21 Newton meters or 15 foot-pounds. I was wrong. I was off by 2 Newton meters. So that's my phone. Said the telemarketers can't call and aggravate me. All right, 21 Newton meters. And done. This old dielectric grease he put on there. Whoever changed the last. Coil back in. 10mm coil bolt. Coil bolt. Sound like I said cobalt. And torque spec on these, I think it's 11 Newton meters, but click, torque the spec. Don't take much, just snug it. Plug that coil back in. Drop back 1 cylinder. Unplug that coil. Move that coil bolt. Pull the coil out. Fingers crossed that it's dry. Oh no, it's got oil.
You jinxed us.
Where's a rag? Well, it's not terribly much oil, but still. I'm gonna need a set of rocker cover gaskets with the spark plug well sealed. I'll go ahead and change your spark plug anyway. It's not gonna accumulate too terribly much to matter, so just take a rag, run it down in that spark plug well, get that extra oil. You're not gonna get all of it out. A little bit of it will leak down into the head when you take the spark plug out, but that's no problem. It'll burn off as soon as you crank the car up, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, there's not terribly much oil in there, it doesn't look like.
Force it.
That would be nice.
Where's it at?
On top of my toolbox in the black case. Batteries are out of it and everything else. So. We can look at that if you want.
Huh?
We can do that. Yep, so there's a little bit of oil in there. Check with the mirror and a flashlight. Run the rag in there again a little deeper. Get more of that out. As little amount of oil as possible to enter the cylinder with the spark plug removal is what we're after here. Like I said, it's not going to cause a ton of damage, but you don't want to flood the cylinder with a lot of oil. You have to put batteries and everything in it.
I think they'd have a rechargeable battery pack.
It would be nice. But for now, Snap-on just keeps running them on AA. I mean, theoretically, you could get rechargeable AA's, but they don't last nowhere near as long as regular ones. In my experience, I haven't really had a lot of luck with rechargeables, especially in flashlights and stuff. They never want to hold their charge. All right, just set it there.
So how long you think it'll take to change out them gaskets and garments? 30 minutes to an hour?
Something like that. These are a little bit more tricky because you got to take the fuel injectors loose and the fuel rail up to get the valve cover to slide out. Otherwise you hit the frame rail. The older EJ251s and 253s are a little bit easier. You didn't have to remove all that, and
So
they just came right out.
So the best thing to do is go ahead and get my timing belt, water pump, and get those so we can do it all at once.
Yeah. Nice and oily. Give me right back.
Is that the new one or the old one?
That's the old one. Yeah.
So I'll need to get some new plugs too when I do that.
No, your plug should be fine. We'll just clean the wells out. We'll spray some brake parts cleaner down in the bores, and take shop air and blow it out, and you'll be fine. Do you want to take the borescope and look down here in this cylinder?
Yeah. See what we working with.
Is it on?
Nope.
Any day now. Alright, got some buildup on your piston, but no. Nothing abnormal. That valve seat looks a little odd right there. You got some buildup on your valves and stuff, but for the mileage, it's not atypical.
So what you telling me? I have a chance. You want me to go ahead and take the ones on this side off?
What, spark plugs? I think you gotta take your battery out, though. I think I had two on my brother's 2011 Outback, but I think I did that to make it easier to get the camera in there for filming that video. You can just wait. 2:16, you got plenty of time.
So not bad for 2010 with 170.
No, there's nothing abnormal. We do need to get that time belt cover off though today and check that belt, since we saw that the water pump was leaking when we were underneath there doing the oil change.
You know, we looked the other time and couldn't find out where it was leaking at all, and this time it was
Right in front of our
right
face.
in front. Well, I'd rather it be right in front of our face than
Hiding.
so. Also, do you think that, do I need to change those gaskets up top on the return? I meant like the what you call it or whatever.
What gasket?
Those O-rings.
Oh, the crossover pipe. I wouldn't worry about it until it we could actually see a leak.
I know changing out that cabin air filter made a huge difference in the air conditioning and everything.
Yeah, it's like a air filter in the engine. I mean, if it can't breathe, it's not going to perform well.
I tell you this, I wish
Blower motor can't blow through a clogged filter very well either. So
I also need to change my squirters on my windshield wiper. They're plugged up. I
you can
tried using piano string, it don't work.
try a sewing needle.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? That's how I usually get them unclogged.
Yeah, they said something about putting them in vinegar or something. That those
I guess it's
nozzles,
supposed to dissolve it.
I guess, I don't know. They said Subaru, those on this body style would plug super easy.
Where was that? Naziak or something?
Yeah. Well, Kevin also mentioned it too.
I had to get new gaskets for mine the other day for the LL Bean, because when we took them off to paint the hood and all, they tore up, so I bought a new set of windshield washer sprayer gaskets. I was surprised that Subaru still carried them, and they had them in stock at the Subaru dealer in Columbia.
They're probably the same for a lot of them.
Yeah, I think they were the same on the second gen.
Let's see, mine's right here.
Was the second gens on the hood, or are they on the cowl? They're on the hood. I can see on that Legacy GT hood. No, those are different. The second gens are different because you could. They had two little nozzles in each side, and you can actually take a sewing needle and change and point them different directions to spray differently. The ones on the third gens are fixed in place and molded into plastic.
You know, mine didn't get like that until I didn't use it in the winter. Not using it all winter long, it's like they plugged up.
That's weird. What kind of washer fluid are you running? You running normal or the anti-freeze or not?
It's the orange that
the Rain-X like I use.
Yeah, the Rain-X.
I've never had any issue out of it. It's the Bug Wash and the Icer orange Rain-X. Favorite washer fluid of all time.
I like it myself.
Sponsor me, Rain-X. Shameless promotions of things I like personally on YouTube.
You think I should put a cold air intake on here?
Nah, it wouldn't do much. You probably wouldn't. You'd probably hear more of a difference and feel much of a difference.
I'm talking about as in like maneuvering.
Oh, around the engine bay?
Yeah.
They would free up quite a bit of space, but I don't know if these have issues with running lean and stuff like the turbo models do when you put an intake on without a tune. Where's the intake? We don't have to take it off to get the driver's side. Yeah, that's the right way.
No, I was just looking to make sure.
The clamp, it's got a little tang that retains it in place. Don't forget to hook the PCV hose up over there.
Oh yeah. Just trying to make sure that thing's sealed up.
If it's not, we'll know. If start check engine light and have a lean code.
Already got a tire
sensor. Tire.
Yeah. For
TPMS sensor battery died.
Well, no, remember I ain't got the.
Oh yeah, you don't have the sensors in the winter wheels. Time to put the summer wheels on.
I know.
Although it snowed 2 days ago, so that wouldn't have worked very well.
Well, the thing is, I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place. Either do that or
did that clamp just break?
I don't know. No.
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
Or did it jump track?
It looks like it jumped track.
No, it's stripped. It's not tightening. I ain't good. That's hella loose.
You got another?
And take the battery loose. Negative first, then positive.
Do you have any more of these?
I think I got a bag of the little push pin somewhere.
Look when we get
Done with this. Has your battery been leaking? Was that Coca-Cola? Or was that acid? Don't put your tongue to it. You and tasting stuff.
So what?
I said you and tasting automotive fluids.
It's good.
No, it's not.
Very good.
Nah. Es no bueno.
Very tasty.
And no. That daggone coil pack wasn't even tight. Or you? You'd already been messing with it.
And you told me stop.
That's right. Cross your fingers when you got oil on it.
Well,
Hey, it's dry.
It's already got oil. I bet the back one's got oil in it.
Yeah, it looks like the rear. Maybe it's just that one, but still, you got to replace both. because they're the same age. So,
well, ain't no point of replacing
one side without doing the other.
Yeah.
So, anyway, where's my 3/8 ratchet? There it is.
You want to tell you something that's hard? It's changing these bulbs.
Oh yeah.
Yep, these little bulbs right here.
Oh, the little 9/16s in the corners.
Yeah, and they're like $38 for
Huh?
2 bulbs. Yeah, for these. Because
about to say,
they're LEDs.
The Sylvania ones.
Mm-hmm.
I say I can get like a pack of 40 of them for that much off of eBay off the normal LEDs I use.
Well, see, look at the way these are.
Yeah, they're just flat on the end, aren't they?
No, they're domed.
I've got some of those in the shop. If you told me that I took out and put the eBay ones in there because they're brighter.
Well,
you ding dong.
needless to say,
You could have had those.
Needless to say, a girl at Advance gave them to me.
Ah.
I was complaining about them. I said, man, these things are high. And I went out there to change my headlight bulb on my low beam, and she said, here, don't worry about them.
Sure she's been fired by now. They're not
No,
coming out.
she's still there.
Which Advance? 200?
No, AutoZone, I mean.
You know I don't set foot in that place.
Well, I needed a headlight bulb, and it was the cheapest place to get a bulb.
There you go. Where's the... Oh.
That's not bad. Yeah, I needed a bulb, and that was the cheapest place. It was like $22 for a low beam.
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing these a little early. Normally it's every 100,000 miles, but we didn't know how long it had been since they've been replaced. Put that one in the box. That's what I'm handing it to you.
Well, I mean, it's always better to be safe than sorry. At
Yeah.
least I would have never known that the oil was leaking.
Yeah.
Now I can tell Lindsay there is more problems.
I'm sure she's ready to hear that. Squeak, squawk, squeak.
It'd be nice if the battery was in the trunk.
Yeah, it would give you more room. And then the battery would probably die a lot quicker. Like BMWs and Mercedes. And something about remote mounting batteries further away from the alternator, they don't last as long. Other than the fact you got to run massive gauge wires back there to carry the current. Because the resistance from that being that far away.
Even if it was inside the fender.
No, you don't want that. Dodge did that on the, God, what was it? The, not the Journey. Well, the Journey might have had them too, but it was the little car. Stratus? No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was the one, yeah. No. God, no. It's the newer one. Avenger, the Dodge Avenger. They had them in the fenders. And man, you see them guys at Advanced Auto Parts Custom when they see that free battery installed. They're like, we don't do them. You gotta jack it up, take the wheel off, pull the fender liner out, and then slide it out.
Didn't the Volkswagens?
The Beetles, you had to pull the wheel off and go through access and a special tool to remove the headlight housing to get the bulb out.
Yeah.
Most aggravating headlight I've ever replaced was in a 2005 CTS-V Cadillac. You have to take it, put it on the lift, take both front wheels off, take off both inner fender liners, take the front bumper off, take both headlight housings off, disassemble the headlight housings because the bulb is actually inside. There's a plate on the front and the back that seals them. Mm-hmm. So every time we do one, we'd replace every single bulb in the headlight housing on both sides. And customer would be like, why the heck does it cost $200 to replace a headlight bulb? And like it's 3.5 hours of labor or something crazy. Well, that's ridiculous. Why'd you replace all these bulbs? I just need the low beam. You want to pay me that much to go and replace the high beam when the next week when it burn out too? Take them all, knock them out at once.
People don't understand stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes being cheap ain't the best way to be.
All we gotta do is
cost you more money in the long run. There's a little bit of oil on this one, but it's mainly dry.
So not as bad as that one on this
No,
side.
the worst one definitely was that cylinder back there you hands on. Can't get my mirror at a good angle.
You want the bore scope?
Okay, I got it. No, that one just started leaking because it's not even down to the spark plug. It's just halfway down the bore of the spark plug well. So that one, it just recently started leaking. But that one back there beside you, it's been leaking for a while, a couple thousand miles at least, or a couple months. I'd reckon it probably started around winter time when it got cold. The gasket shrunk up enough for it to start leaking. Plug socket. Smaller extension for the rear. Yeah, so 6-inch extension on the back and the 8-inch for the front. Whereas on the turbo and the 8.6 cars, you just do a 3-inch all the way around. Alright, so this one I'm about to break up to get around the fuse box. I'll put the 4 on it. Probably could have stood to put a 2 on it, but I think I got enough room for my knuckles. It's like DOT still down the road working on the highway.
If that building right here was clear, you could drive in there.
Could not drive in there. That build wouldn't hold a car up. It's not wide enough either. I could hold my parts and stuff in there.
I think you could be able to pull one of our cars in there.
Negative. That floor in that shop building is not as strong as the one in that one, and that one struggles to hold up my toolbox. And my toolbox is not as much as a car. I mean, it's close, but it's not that heavy.
With the tools in it, I beg to differ.
That's what I'm talking about, the tools in it. When I put it in there the first time, it buckled the floor. It started cracking and creaking when we unloaded it off the rollback into the shop. Is your coolant low?
It's just tilted.
It looks like it's down below the low marker though. Who's been writing with a Sharpie on there?
You.
Me?
You did that last time.
Why'd I write above the full and below the low?
I don't know.
Are you sure? I don't remember writing on that.
We topped it off the other day when I was here.
Yeah, but I don't remember writing on it.
It could have been like that.
I don't know, I don't remember.
All I know is
Oh, dang it. I got it all the way to the top and it fell out of the socket.
Oh, I thought you broke it.
No.
Oh, no.
The spinner linder's in the way. More oil. What I don't understand about Subaru spark plugs is all these people that say that they put like 9 universal joints and swivels and all this other stuff on. It's like, you don't need all that. All you need is a spark plug socket, an extension, and a ratchet. You're making it way more complicated on yourself and risking cross-threading them, putting them back in, and everything else. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just me having more experience replacing them than
Porcelain
the
on this
average
one at the
person.
top. A little burnt.
Yeah. Where at? Near the, that's just the Corona, that's normal.
Okay.
You're talking about right there where the nut is? Yeah, they call that the Corona. I can't remember exactly why or what the reason is, but that's what that little brown ring is you get between the porcelain and the nut.
I'd like a Corona right now. On the way home, I might grab me some scotch.
Oh, you quit drinking years ago.
I did, but I want to drink now.
Why?
I'm craving it.
Because I said it. It is a little warm today.
Yeah. I don't like drink. I used to drink heavy. I don't drink heavy now.
I think it's been 12 years since I've had any kind of alcohol, and even then I never got drunk once in my life.
You want to?
Nah. I have no desire. I don't honestly get why people do it. It seems a waste of money to me.
I don't like getting
Blackout drunk.
no, I don't like getting drunk. I like feeling calm. You know what I mean? Like
I
to
guess.
the point. Well, when you get
Relaxed.
yeah, you just get
Where you stop caring about everything.
You know, like a lot of people, they just go try to get hammered, and you know, like I don't like that. I don't like being not.
I don't want to be out of control.
I don't want to be, you know, not in control of my body to the point where you're peeing and pooping on yourself. And
so that's why I never got into drinking or alcohol. And
I'd like to have that GT up there, I swear.
well, buy it and put an engine in it, because all the subscribers are chomping at the bit for me to do it, and I just can't justify the money it's going to take to fix it with it having a salvage title.
Me either.
If you get that engine cheap from old
Yeah, but
guy at Subaru.
yeah, but I want a turbo engine in this.
What I need to do is find
I'd like to have an
a
H6
GT.
in
I'm telling you about an H6 best. I prefer the H6 over the turbo cars.
You imagine an H6 in this car? I'm scared. Then I'd supercharge it.
I saw a 3.6R Legacy this body style the other day for sale, but you know they all had freaking automatics in them.
Yeah, you don't see too many that's straight.
You don't see any that straight drive in the US.
No, I'm talking about my body style, period.
Oh yeah, with the 6-speed. Why is this coil not plugging up?
The white one's up front and the back one's black.
Yep. Oh, it was plugging. The little clip's just wrong. It wasn't clicking in place. I was like, why is it not clicking? And the bateria. And we're done. Put oil in it. God, it's so hard to replace Subaru spark plugs. Everyone's gonna be like, quit being a show off. What are you doing? I got battery cleaner in the shop if you just want to spray it down.
You know?
Oh, my back. You're gonna put your crazy Cusco
Yeah.
battery bracket on there. You do that, I'm gonna get my thing and clean the terminals before we cook it up.
Yeah, because when I got this car, it didn't have a battery bracket. Oh, well, this car didn't have one at all, and the battery was just flopping.
Pretty angry about it too, because that just had its original battery hold down, and I took the old battery out that was dead, and I think I left the hold down on that old battery, set it out, and then I put another battery in it, and I've been driving around messing with it, and this little Hispanic fella was coming by the other day that bought the scrap metal, and he was buying batteries, and I sold him that battery and a bunch of other batteries that I had, you know, the ones we found cleaning up, and I don't think it was on there, but man, I'm starting to think that maybe the Tecum battery hold down was still on that battery, and he took it when he got my battery. I mean, I know he didn't do it on purpose, but you know what I mean.
Those things are a lifesaver, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
I got one at home. I love it. Yeah, Kevin said he thinks this car's in pretty good shape when he looked at it.
Yeah.
He said, man, this car's nice.
Well, we gotta figure out what's up with that transmission leak, though. That's not good.
So we're gonna just take this cover off right here, right?
Yeah.
All right, last time we tried, remember?
Broke that. Yeah, they're bad about it. And Dunskies.